And now, HBO Sports presents Boxing After Dark.
Welcome to another edition of Boxing After Dark, coming to you from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Tonight we bring you a main event which projects as a can't-miss style matchup between two of the most exciting young fighters in the sport, as the baby bull Juan Diaz, fighting in his hometown, takes on Michael Katsidis. The stakes are high as both of these fighters are coming off the first losses of their careers. But before we get to Diaz and Katsidis, we bring you an intriguing 135-pound fight between Rocky Juarez and Jorge Barrios. Two solid veterans who have both made some noise in this division in recent years. Hello again, everyone. So glad you can join us for HBO's Boxing After Dark. I'm Bob Papa. Nearly 15,000 people on hand here at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Juan Diaz, the former lightweight champion of the world, coming off that loss to Nate Campbell. He's in tough tonight as he takes on 28-year-old Michael Katsidis. Katsidis was undefeated until earlier this year when he lost to Yoel Casamayor. So why are these two fighting each other? Two young fighters coming off their first loss because they both want a challenge. They're no longer perfect, but they hope to get back on the road to that title run. But to get things started, another hometown favorite, Rocky Juarez, taking on Jorge Barrios in a 12-round showdown. Juarez is the silver medalist from the 2000 Olympic Games. He too is right from here in Houston, and he needs a big win. Jorge Barrios said Rocky Juarez had better tape this fight because I'm going to knock him out, and he doesn't know how it's going to end unless he watches it on tape. I don't care if his mom is the referee and his brothers and father are the judges. It's not going to the scorecards. Well, Rocky Juarez is much more mild-mannered, and he admitted to us yesterday some of the trash talking from Jorge Barrios has gotten under his skin, but he says it will not get him off of his game plan for tonight. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our first battle of the evening between Rocky Juarez and Jorge Barrios. Juarez at 28 years of age, Barrios at 32 years of age. You see a slight reach advantage for Juarez, measured from the armpit to the tip of the fist. They both weighed in at 130 pounds. They've both rehydrated 16 pounds. Time for the rules with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Now, Rocky Juarez. Jorge Barrios fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see in the screen. Bob, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, rigged generalship, and defense with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Bob.
All right, thank you, Harold. Time for the introductions. Here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Toyota Center here in Houston, Texas, where tonight Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions is proud to present HBO Boxing After Dark, an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza con Character, DeWalt Tools, guaranteed tough, Amigo Energy, the energy of champions, and Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. All bouts sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. This card is dedicated to the memory of Hall of Fame former middleweight world champion Joey Giardello. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout will be Rocky Burke, Ruben Carrion, and Dr. Ruben Garcia. And inside the ring, the man in charge of the action, referee Rafael Ramos. And now, on the line, the vacant WBO Latino title, 12 rounds of boxing in the junior lightweight division. Fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue with red, official weight 130 pounds. Professional record 47 victories, including 37 knockouts, 3 defeats, and 1 no decision. From Tigre, Buenos Aires, Argentina, former WBO Super Featherweight World Champion, La Hiena, Jorge, Rodrigo, Barrios. And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing green with white and red, also officially weighing 130 pounds. An Olympic silver medalist, now has a professional record consisting of 27 victories, including 19 knockouts with 4 defeats. Born, raised, and living in Houston, Texas, Ricardo Rocky Juarez.
Okay, guys, you receive the pre-fight instruction. Recibiste las instrucciones. Protect yourself at all time. Protégete todo el tiempo. Good luck, buena suerte. Pelea limpia. Clean fight. Let's go.
In our main event tonight, Juan Diaz and Michael Katsides are going to hook up in what many expect to be a candidate for Fight of the Year. The question is, will it even be the fight of this card? Because these 2 promise action.
Barrios and Juarez set to go for 12 rounds. Who will flinch first? Will Juarez stay disciplined? Barrios says he worked with Rudy Perez in Mexico to straighten out his punches. He sprinkled in a little bit more defense in preparation. Lennox will find out if Barrios can now bring it to the ring.
And it's funny, Barrios said he's really been focusing on defense, and right now I can see that, you know, his hands are pretty high, but he's taking his time in there. He's trying to figure out what he can do with Juarez.
Juarez feels that his ability as a technician with the straighter punches, the more polish, will keep Barrios in poor balance. Says, I got to keep my punches crisp, but I can't wait. They do not want the lull periods from Juarez. Barrios a little wide with that left hand to the waist of Juarez. Juarez trying to pump out that jab. It's like Rocky's trying to get a little loose.
The perception here is that Juarez is the naturally smaller fighter, but with a much better pedigree, a much better technical fighter. Juarez and his trainer, Ronnie Shields, after watching Margarito Cotto, realized that even though Juarez is the better boxer, he shouldn't merely box, meaning merely move around the perimeter of the ring and constantly be backing up. And we can see right here from the first round that Juarez is trying to establish himself in the middle of the ring.
Both of these boxers coming off the longest layoff of their career. Barrios had some cataracts in his eye. He had that fixed via laser surgery. Juarez, coming off a 10-month layoff, had a cartilage buildup in his left eye. In fact, he told us it was so bad that if he reached for the salt and pepper shaker on the table, that he would grab the wrong one. And he says it is a tremendous relief now to be able to see clearly. He did not have that luxury when he fought Juan Manuel Marquez in his last fight in November of 2007.
Bring that out, baby. Come on.
Pretty tough business to not be able to see clearly in, huh, Lennox?
No, you need both eyes to see in there. And Juarez, you can see that his defense is very tight. He is a little bit tight. I'm sure he's going to loosen up after the first round. And he's got a great extensive amateur career behind him, silver medalist at the Olympics. So, you know, he throws good shots.
Glancing left hand after a couple good jabs by Juarez, and then he digs a left hook to the body. Again, Juarez doubles up with his jab. Left hand to the cheek by Juarez scored. That's how round number 1 ends.
You have to throw the inside with the uppercut. On the inside with the uppercut, okay? And don't open up. You're throwing the punches to the body and you're opening up. Don't open up. Don't open up. Don't open up. Don't open up. Keep your defense up. Keep your defense up and try to open him up on the inside with the uppercuts. On the inside, but to the chin.
Okay? Every time in the inside, you can hit him with that uppercut all day long. Okay? Now look, but when you finish punching, just stay close to him, but just step around. You don't have to fight this guy at a big distance, okay? Let's go.
So Ronnie Shields in the corner of Rocky Juarez. He's got double duty tonight. He also works with Juan Diaz. Juarez and Diaz are both popular here in Houston, although they both told us that there's never been any jealousy toward each other. Two very humble guys, two very respectful young men, and they root for each other. They're actually working in the same gym, at least over the last year, working with Ronnie Shields.
And both of them have similar game plans, if not identical game plans tonight, in against cruder, but maybe stronger fighters. They both want to box, keep the fight in the middle of the ring, and keep their opponent turning.
Well, Barrios told us, Lennox, that he had worked on straightening up his punches. He looks pretty wide to me and rounded.
Well, he's throwing wide punches, but the good thing that he's doing is starting it off. And he's starting it off all the time, whether it's a body punch or a head punch, but he's looking busy. And that's what the judges like to see. Juarez needs to throw a double jab in there and keep that jab moving, because I think that will help his game. That will set up for the rest of his punches, but he's got to throw that jab. He's waiting for Barrios, which is the wrong move. He needs to start the action off himself like he did there.
Yep, doubled up the jab, then through the right hand. Both work to the body on the inside. Good hook to the body, hook to the head by Barrios.
Barrios has elected not to use his jab. Most of the punches that he starts off with is always a left hook or punching to the body. So he must feel that he can get through with body punches.
Barrios cautioned for a low blow there. Looks like there's some swelling near the right eye of Barrios.
Yeah, he looks like he has a little nick there, bruising up. It's probably going to tell in the later rounds. But right now it's a bit too early.
Might have been earlier in this round. It looked like he pawed at his right eye as if their heads might have come together, but sort of underneath the right eye into the corner of the right eye. Good uppercut by Barrios.
Juarez pointed to his chin, meaning he can take it, but interestingly, some of these Barrios wide shots are landing in spite of the fact that they're wide and that Juarez's hands are up. He's punching between Juarez's gloves, Barrios is, and sometimes through them.
And you know, sometimes boxers, you know, when they're used to boxing guys that are technically complete, but when they box a guy that's a slugger or a swinger and they get caught, they wonder where did they get caught from. They can't believe they're getting hit.
Because the punches themselves are unorthodox.
Yes.
Good round for Barrios, and the big punch, the uppercut, here in round number 2. Juarez has never been stopped. Barrios stopped once by Acelino Freitas back in 2003.
See, Juarez needs to throw straight punches. That'll break anything up Barrios has to throw because he's coming wide.
End of round number 2 for Rocky Juarez and Jorge Barrios.
Okay,
Michael Strahan has long been one of the NFL's most dominating players and most colorful personalities. Now with his football career behind him, Strahan talks about the transition from player to broadcaster. He'll all about it on the next Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel, preparing Tuesday night, September the 16th. Then on September the 30th, it's a special edition of Costas Now, featuring an hour-long discussion with baseball's two greatest living players, Hank Aaron and Willie Mays. A conversation taped in July, but largely not seen on TV until now.
Hook to the top, and then to the body. Double the hook. Jab, jab, jab.
See that right eye of Barrios. Some swelling in black and blue. No cut, though. We begin round number 3. The big punch in round number 2 is a good uppercut landed by Jorge Barrios. As the fans here in Houston try to urge Rocky Juarez on with the chant of Rocky. Lennox, is Juarez being a bit too patient, a bit too cautious?
I would say he's being a bit too cautious. He should actually let his punches go and throw some combination and really test out Barrios. And see, even test him to the body. I haven't seen no body punches by Juarez yet.
Juarez has always been regarded as a very good fighter. But if there's a criticism of him, it's that he tries to do everything too perfectly and won't just increase the volume of his punches if he thinks that his opponent's not in the perfect position to be hit.
We asked Juarez yesterday about fighting in his hometown. He hasn't fought here in Houston in about 4 years. He said, I'm much more relaxed now. But right now, Barrios is trying to take the fight to him. Barrios digs to the body with that left hand.
Juarez's head is a bit stiff. He needs to move it from side to side a little bit and loosen up. Still a bit tight.
Left hand right to the midsection by Juarez. Scored.
Juarez's trainer, Ronnie Shields, great trainer, has a lot of champions, says that the way he'd like Juarez to overcome the waiting problem is simply to use his jab when nothing else is going on.
And right now, he's just using one jab at a time. This is, I think, one of the first times he's thrown a triple jab, which is important in this fight.
Barrios is losing a point.
You okay? Let's go.
Low blow. He's been warned several times, and now a point being deducted by referee Rafael Ramos. There's just one jab there from Juarez. And right now he's not filling in those lulls.
Oh, I think the cut's being open.
Yeah, on Juarez's head too. Still swelling. Good right hand by Juarez, counter shot by Barrios.
So this is what Juarez is supposed to be doing. Throw that left, right, hook, a 4-punch combination, but he's doing 2-punch combinations right now. Still waiting a bit too much. This is where he should be throwing the jab and be first. Anytime you're first, then the combinations follow after that.
Big night of boxing here in Houston. Rocky Juarez and Jorge Barrios still to come. Juan Diaz and Michael Katsidis each coming off their first professional losses with a lot to prove.
A lot of people are kind of questioning, oh, how is he going to come out this fight?
This is very much a chance for redemption.
This is a war of wills.
I have to go in there prepared for everything.
And Diaz is still Diaz, round after round after round.
This is serious. These are two guys fighting to hit very hard.
Katsidis trying to land the home run.
We just keep fighting. That's what we love to do.
I love fighting. It's just going to be one hell of a night.
It certainly is here in Houston as Diaz and Katsidis square off in our main event. Jorge Barrios doing some pretty good work here, Lennox.
Yeah, and you will see a low blow. It doesn't look intentional, It looks like he was trying to reach around to the body. I felt the referee should have really gave him a warning for that, not taken away a point.
Especially when the belly button's not showing. A borderline shot isn't necessarily low.
Time for Harold Letterman's scorecard. Harold?
Okay, Bob. I've got it 2 rounds for Jorge Barrios at 1 round even. 29-27 Barrios. Bob, I got to tell you, I think that's horrible refereeing. It's early in the fight. It's the 3rd round. All those shots are on a waistband. Jorge Barrios is a body puncher. I mean, he's throwing wide hooks to the body. You can't take a point away. I mean, it could be the difference in the fight. It's absolutely horrible refereeing. And I got to say, it's really bothering me. Anyway, Rocky Juarez throwing very, very few right hands. I mean, in the 1st round, he didn't throw a right hand. He's just throwing left jabs. So 2 rounds for Barrios, 1 round even because Ramos took away the point.
I got it. No punching. No punching.
All right, Harold.
That's it. Clean. That's it.
So if the point was not deducted, Harold would have had it 3 rounds for Barrios.
See, this is where Juarez needs to answer with those shots. Every time Barrios throws a punch and he blocks it or makes him miss, he's got to answer with some punches back. See, right there again, he's making Barrios throw punches. He's not answering back. He's just standing there.
No. Don't push it down. You okay? Come on. Let's go.
Barrios admonished by referee Rafael Ramos for pushing down the head of Juarez. Now Juarez at least opens up with his jab. Did not score, then flicks a left hand to the chin of Barrios. See, now, that time, Juarez didn't respond after he blocked the 2 Barrios punches.
He's not responding like he should, and hopefully his corner's going to go tell him, you know, you need to answer shots. Don't let him get away with those shots, because later on they're gonna wear you out.
And he was right there in the pocket, Lennox, too, to counter off that.
There he is, blocking, answer back. This is the time to answer back. There you go.
There's a right hand that snaps back the head of Barrios. Then Juarez hooks to the body. Left hand to the head scores for Rocky Juarez. The Houston faithful trying to urge Juarez on. Left hand to the body from Barrios. Scored. The referee said bring it up. Looked like a clean body shot. That one blocked by the elbow of Juarez from Barrios. An overly patient Rocky Juarez for the most part in this fight. Barrios has a good rhythm going, although Juarez had his moments in that round.
Okay, baby, look. Look, man, that was good, okay? Now listen, here's what I need from you. Here's what I need from you, okay? Look, I need you to keep the pace on him, right? He can't handle the pace. Now look, you went to the body 1 time that time, okay? You gotta go, I want more shots to the body with this guy. Come on, give me a deep breath, let him out. Give me another small drink.
Uppercuts. Uppercuts, and upstairs because the refs are going to take points away from you. Remember what we practiced in the dressing room. Come on, you're against everyone.
Punches, we work on this every day. Stay right there and fire with him. Okay? Fire with him.
Well, according to CompuBox, Juarez is throwing only 44 punches a round, which is around the heavyweight average. He's fighting at 130 pounds. In the last round, Barrios threw 79 punches to Juarez's 39. But according to CompuBox, they connected on the same amount.
Question is, why isn't Juarez letting his hands go? He's not fighting a technically superior fighter. He's fighting a crude fighter in Barrios, tough but crude. And at a certain point, if a fighter like Juarez becomes gun-shy for whatever reason, maybe here it's because Barrios is the naturally larger fighter, maybe the harder puncher, it's really bad news for Juarez. He's been criticized against fighters like Juan Manuel Marquez, who outclassed him. But Marquez has outclassed just about everyone he's ever fought. including Marco Antonio Barrera, maybe not outclassed, but beat and fought Manny Pacquiao close twice. Jorge Barrios is not Juan Manuel Marquez.
And right now, Barrios is totally controlling the entire rhythm of each round.
You know, and it seems like he's throwing a lot more punches, he's scoring. You know, if I was a judge, I would be giving it to Barrios right now because he's, you know, electing to throw a lot more punches.
According to CompuBox, he's thrown over 100 more punches through 4.5 rounds.
Although all this said, guys, it's a close competitive fight. Juarez is landing some good shots, and he's not getting hit cleanly a ton, although he is getting hit.
Right, but, you know, it's how it looks to the judges. You know, and they may not be getting hit, but it looks like Barrios is doing a lot of work in there and throwing a lot of punches.
And Barrios is landing some shots here.
Then, of course, you have that
This is where Juarez should be throwing that jab, throwing that right hand, hitting into the body. He hasn't thrown no body punches yet.
Well, this was the concern of Ronnie Shields, his trainer, talking about this. And Juarez talking about this during our fighter meeting yesterday, an area in which he's got to fill the gaps, like right there. He's not doing it.
Yeah, he's got to impose himself on Barrios if he wants to do something.
I got it, no puncher, I got it, that's it.
Now remember, one of the big aspects of this fight could turn out to be round number 3 and Barrios losing a point for low blows.
Well, it's important for Juarez to put all these rounds in his pocket, making sure that he wins all these early rounds, because anything may happen. You could get a cut later on, and that could affect the momentum of this fight.
And again, it's Barrios leading the action. Left hand to the head. And a good round for Jorge Barrios once again.
Got great conditioning, great conditioning. Don't massage him. Bring your hands down. Throw the uppercut, or else they're going to take points away. You're working well.
Well, they get a look at the Juarez family and son Rocky Jr. will turn 5, being held up there on November the 14th. His grandfather, Pedro Juarez, got him involved in boxing.
Dig the body shots, okay? You got to fight more on the inside with this guy. You got to push him back, okay?
So Jorge Barrios has taken the fight to Rocky Juarez through the first 5 rounds of action. We begin round number 6. Kind of waiting for Juarez to get moving.
Yeah, Rocky Juarez should be pressuring him, trying to push him backwards. When Barrios starts to open up and try and throw a wild punch, all he has to do is throw a straight punch, a straight jab to break everything up.
Although the jab he's been using more than any other punch, it's the right hand he's rarely throwing, it seems to me. Juarez.
Still coming ahead forward. Seems like he's not getting enough blood to his arms or something, or he's feeling tight, but he needs to let them go.
He's also not throwing body shots, as we mentioned rounds ago, Juarez. Barrios is outworking him, imposing himself.
That time Juarez threw a right hand that caught a piece of Barrios. We talked to Juarez yesterday. He said he was working with a bigger man in training to try to move that man back and against a bigger foe, knowing that Barrios is pretty sturdy, but it doesn't seem to have paid any dividends, Lennox.
Not yet. Maybe in the later rounds it may show that, you know, his stamina is really great because of the fact that he's been working with bigger guys. But, you know, right now he's picking his shots. He needs to be throwing a lot more jabs, trying to back Barrios up. There you go. That's a good body shot, which he needed to throw.
Meanwhile, Barrios, who's seen as a really undisciplined fighter and obviously not the best technical fighter ever, although here Juarez is making him look a little bit like Sugar Ray Leonard. Barrios is fighting a disciplined fight by his standards.
Yeah, he's actually looking good.
Come on, man. Bring those punches up, okay? Está bien. You okay? Let's go.
Okay, why didn't he take a point there? That's what he should have did the first time he hit him low, is warning.
Well, he did warn him 2 times before he took the point away, but it was a borderline low blow in which he deducted the point. Well, Barrios was as loose as a goose during the fighter meetings yesterday. I mean, he was as relaxed and funny, Lennox, he wanted your watch. I mean, he was having a grand old time, and he said tonight was going to be a blast. He's having fun in the ring right now.
I think he's gonna, if he wins this fight, he's gonna expect me to give him my watch.
Juarez trying to counter as Barrios came in. Good jab there by Juarez. But right now it's too few and far between. Halfway point of the fight for Rocky Juarez.
Listen, how we feeling, baby? Okay. Look, everything is good, but look, listen. Wow, you got to keep backing him up, okay? You got to keep backing him up. When you got distance, use your jab when you got distance. When you close, that's when both hands got to move, okay? This is what we work on in the gym every day. Remember when he throwing them wild shots, I throw them at you, and then you just fire the uppercuts right behind it.
And here we see Juarez, you know, slipping that left jab and coming over with that right. And here's it from another angle. Does the same thing. This is the second one, and you know, maybe he's got something figured out here. This is what he needs to do more of.
4 punches, and finish off with the left.
So Rocky Juarez, you heard Ronnie Shields tell him this is what we worked on. Use those jabs, double up with those punches, and stay busier. As we begin round number 7, let's bring in Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob. 58, 55. 4 rounds Barrios, 1 round Juarez, 1 round even. You know, Bob, in the 6th round, Rocky Juarez threw enough left jabs to barely win the round. I think Jorge Barrios just slowed up a little and didn't do all that much. But basically, just like you've been calling it, Barrios taking it to Juarez. Juarez doing nothing but throwing left jabs, hardly throwing the right hand at all. Just like Max Kellerman said, the aggressor's been Barrios. So far, because of the clean punching and the effective aggressiveness, 4-1, 1 even, Barrios.
All right, Harold. I think one of the intriguing rounds, Lennox and Max, is going to be round number 1, which was one of those kind of feel-out rounds. And, you know, did one of the judges give that round to Juarez, which makes things a little bit tighter? But there's no question Barrios has controlled the action in this fight.
Throwing some good punches in there, good combinations. He's mixing it up. He's moving around. He's being first. There you go. He's being first again.
What's happening is Jorge Barrios is outboxing Rocky Juarez, a silver medalist with a real amateur pedigree, an experienced pro, and supposedly a technically better fighter than Barrios. But here, Juarez is being outboxed.
If you're wondering about later power, Juarez has 3 knockouts after the 6th round. Barrios has 4. Juarez putting some punches together there, but Barrios made a miss. Bill Max, to speak to your point that the cruder Barrios is outboxing Juarez. According to CompuBox, in all the fights that they've ever charted with Barrios, he's already thrown more jabs in this fight, 211, than he's ever thrown in a fight.
He did say he worked hard for this fight, and he really wanted it. So, and he felt really good. Like I said, he was joking with me in the fighters meeting and everything, so he feels good about this fight.
And his new trainer, Rudy Perez, has him trying to fight more like stablemate Israel Vasquez, the winner of the fight of the year thus far against Rafael Marquez. Vasquez, a technically better fighter than Barrios, and Barrios has shown some technical improvement here.
Well, again, Barrios has been busier, but Juarez has been a little bit sharper as far as connects in this round. There, Juarez doubles up with the jab, does not follow up with the right hand, though. Body shot blocked by Juarez. End of round number 7 here in Houston, Texas. The Toyota Center, close to 15,000 fans on hand to see Rocky Juarez and Jorge Barrios. And then in our main event, Juan Diaz and Michael
Keep
Katsides.
pushing this guy back. He cannot fight going backwards. You understand? Look, every day in that gym, what we work on, backing this guy up. When this guy throw them punches at you, you cannot let him out hustle you. Stay in the pocket with it. All right, but you got a 5 body shots, 5 uppercuts, 5 hooks right here. Dame agua.
Give me water. Don't blow your nose. Don't blow. Breathe with your mouth. Lively, lively, look alive, look alive. And throw the uppercuts and the right to the body.
Come on, Rock, look. Push yourself, okay? Don't leave it in his wing. Don't leave it in his wing, okay? Push yourself. This guy ain't got nothing left.
Well, the last round, Barrios threw 94 punches to Juarez's 50, according to CompuBox. Juarez landed 11 to Barrios' 8 for a higher percentage. The 94 punches thrown in round number 7, a high for Barrios.
Heard his trainer, Juarez's trainer, Ronnie Shields, say, don't leave it in this ring. Watching Juarez through this fight so far, I wonder if he's left it in the ring in the 31 other professional fights he's had. A lot of them tough fights against top opposition.
Barrios with a combination.
Juarez only 28, but maybe an old 28.
Let's see if Juarez starts to dig in a little bit. With that said, though, Barrios is in the 291st round of his career.
See, Juarez needs to be setting up that right hand. He throws a great right hand, so he needs to Barrios with that right hand. You know, move him in that position, throw some jabs at least to get him in that position, and then throw that right hand. Right now he's waiting and waiting, and he's waiting a bit too much, and he's allowing Barrios to score points on him.
There's a right hand from Juarez. Slow left from Barrios. Juarez did not counter off it.
Juarez is waiting for that perfect opportunity, but you have to make that opportunity. How do you make that opportunity? Throw some combinations, start it off with a jab, throw some hooks, mix up his punches.
Meanwhile, Barrios, there's plenty of time left in this fight, but Barrios has done something remarkable here in the sense that he's changed his style right in the middle of his career and is employing it successfully here against a world-class fighter in Juarez.
He was oozing confidence when we talked with him yesterday.
See, you can see Barrios trying to set something up. You know, he's trying to hit him to the body. You see his mind working. You see he's working on some stuff.
Juarez got caught reaching. Alex, you think that Juarez is almost a little confused by the fact that this is a disciplined Barrios and someone he hasn't really seen before as opposed to the more wild style?
Yeah, you know, he was expecting to box and maybe move around a bit more because he knew that Barrios was going to give him some pressure, so he was expecting to move around a bit more. Now he's found himself in a position where he has to apply the pressure and try and take the fight from Barrios.
End of round number 8 for Rocky Juarez of Houston, Texas. Still coming in our main event, Houston's own Juan Diaz, former lightweight champion of the world, just 24 years of age, trying to bounce back after his first professional loss, but it's no soft touch as he gets back into the ring tonight because he's going to be taking on a young man from Australia, Michael Katsides, who brings all-out action. He too coming off his first loss as a professional, that against Yoel Casamayor, but Katsides is ready to step into the Lion's Den in Diaz's hometown and get his career back on track. That's coming up in our main event tonight here on HBO's Boxing After Dark.
We're losing. We're going to lose. Wake the hyena.
Well, the corner of Barrios feels that they're letting it slip away. Meanwhile, the corner of Diaz continues to urge him to do what they've done in training.
I think Barrios' corner is just trying to keep him motivated. This a quote from Jorge Barrios before the fight. "I will have a totally different style than the way I used to fight. I now have more defense. Whatever tape Rocky has seen of me in the past is not the Barrios of today." It's a lot of times you hear fighters say those sorts of things before fights. But to see him actually carry through is impressive. Barrios with a really interesting performance so far.
Oh, come on, come on, come on. Última oportunidad, okay, let's go. You okay? Let's go, let's go.
Barrios again, caution for some low blows.
Yeah, you know, if it's on the belt line, I don't think he should be warning him every time.
Well, let's see if Rocky Juarez could get going here. Barrios has totally controlled the pace of this fight. Juarez with a swing and a miss. Double jab and a short right hand.
Rocky Juarez is a very disciplined fighter, but maybe a bit too disciplined right now. Needs to get a bit wilder. Needs to throw a lot more punches.
As Max alluded to earlier, he tries to be perfect, but he might be perfecting his way right to a loss.
Yeah, you know, I failed to see what game plan he had coming in here, because I don't see him doing anything that seemed like he had a game plan.
Well, I think Barrios was telling the truth. I think Juarez and his team looked at tapes and they expected Barrios to be on top of him. And the game plan was to make sure that Barrios wasn't pushing Juarez around the ring. But Barrios isn't trying to.
Another low blow for Barrios.
Didn't see that one.
How you feel? Huh? You okay?
So the second point deducted from Barrios for a low blow. We'll have to look at that one again on the replay.
It was another borderline shot, it looked to me, with the left hand.
Ooh, Barrios slipped there. But again, it's the patience of Juarez that's his undoing, not taking advantage of spots.
See, this is where Juarez doesn't need to be, you know, being against the ropes. He's putting himself at a big disadvantage like that.
It's the first time I've seen Juarez go to the body with conviction in this fight, and it instantly produced a complaint from Barrios. Barrios didn't like it.
Barrios continues to put his punches together. Juarez making most of them miss, but he's not throwing any punches back.
Saliendo del ring, saliendo de ese rampe, vas a parar enfrente y no va a quedar otro para que lo noquees porque el referee.
Lennox is going to try to take a look at that low blow again. Was it worth a point deduction?
Here it comes. Let us see. Well, that was right on the belt. I wouldn't have taken a point away from that, but, you know, the referee's closer to the action.
You know, we haven't seen a low blow here of either of the low blows where points were deducted where you would say, oh, that's blatant.
Well, it would be different if he flinched a bit. He didn't even flinch. That means it didn't even catch him.
Or hit him centrally low. But it's on the side, on the hip, and it's against the fighter, as many fighters pull their trunks over their belly buttons to gain just that advantage. Very bad calls by the referee, as Harold Letterman said earlier.
All right, Harold, your scorecard.
Okay, let's go. 87, 82, 6-1, 2 even, Jorge Barrios. Bob, my question is this. If Jorge Barrios hits Rocky Juarez on the belt line one more time, is Rafael Ramos going to disqualify him? I mean, he's taken away 2 points for low blows that were absolutely on the belt line, just like Max and Lennox said. I mean, it's atrocious. And I'm afraid he's liable to disqualify the guy. The guy's a body puncher. He's forcing a fight, landing the cleaner, harder shots, but he throws hooks to the body. Why take away his game? In any case, 87-82 Barrios.
Bob Papa, Lennox Lewis, Max Kellerman, and Harold Letterman. 15,000 fans here at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Rocky Juarez and Jorge Barrios in round number 10 of this 12-round showdown. Lightweight still to come in the main event. Juan Diaz and Michael Katsidis.
Okay, let's go.
The shame for Barrios in that last round, he threw 75 more punches than Juarez. He landed 22 to Juarez's 9 according to CompuBox, and he gets an even round out of it because of a questionable low blow.
The most effective shots that Juarez has thrown in this fight have all been to the body. They seem to shake Barrios, but other than those isolated moments, and then that left hook by Juarez, it's Barrios all over Juarez.
It looks like Barrios is out of a little gas right now. Can Juarez step in and fill the gaps?
Those body shots are hurting him, Bob. Are hurting Barrios.
Well, Barrios better be careful because, you know, he doesn't want to hit this guy low again, especially with this type of referee. And the referee's looking very close at the action.
The latest stoppage Juarez ever scored was in 2003 in the 10th round against Antonio Diaz.
Juarez now would be well served to forget about Barrios' head for a minute and keep throwing those body shots. Every time he throws one, Barrios winces.
Yep, Barrios looks gassed. Can Juarez dig in? Barrios looks exhausted. Juarez with a combination. Juarez with a left hook on the inside. Barrios' punch is getting wider. Can Juarez step between them and make them pay?
See, mentally, Barrios could be affected by the referee feeling that he needs to slug it out. Could be feeling that this fight is slipping away from him because of the fact that the referee took all these points away. This is how a referee can really affect a fighter.
Lennox with an uppercut work here with Barrios just leaning in.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's still a lot of time in the fight. Juarez has the power to knock out Barrios, so anything can happen.
What a round that was.
Barrios threw 160 punches according to CompuBox.
Come on, you got to knock him out. He ain't going to quit. You understand? So listen, you got to keep fighting combinations. That's the punch go get him. Do not look for the one shot, okay? If you do it, don't have 3 or 4 shots.
Breathe, breathe. Breathe, relax. Breathe with your mouth. Straight shots to the chest, and jab, jab, jab. Pop the shots.
And here's a flurry by Juarez. This is what he needed to do a bit earlier. Don't know if the tides could be changing because of this, but it definitely was a great round for Juarez.
He ain't doing shit. You just got to get out that punch.
Jorge Barrios landed 27 of 160 punches in round number 10. Juarez didn't put enough together, though, to really make a tiring Barrios pay as we begin round 11.
We all thought the key to Juarez's fight here would be the left jab, but a lot like Miguel Cotto against Antonio Margarito earlier in the year, where Cotto neglected the body, it seems to me that the best punch for Juarez is the left hook to the body. Whenever he's thrown it and landed, the tide turns in his favor.
Barrios continues to throw more punches. Juarez starting to land some more. But Lennox, he hasn't really grabbed around by the back of the neck, has Juarez.
No, he hasn't. I mean, you know, as long as a judge looking at the fight, I'm saying, you know, it doesn't seem like he wants it as much as Barrios. Barrios really wants it. He's throwing punches, he's throwing haymakers all over the place, he's throwing combinations, he's controlling the pace of the fight.
Blood coming from the mouth of Barrios. Here's where Juarez got to do something. There, he hooks to the body, shoots a left hand to the head. Barrios eats a combination.
And all this is coming off that hook to the body.
Juarez dips away from a right hand.
And they pick up where they left off last round.
And Barrios looks like he's trying to knock Juarez out. I mean, he did say it in the fighters meeting that he wants to knock him out, so maybe that's what he's trying to do right now.
Yeah, he said that in 4. We're well past that. Can Rocky Juarez score the latest stoppage of his career? Does Barrios have enough to hang on? Juarez again hooks to the body hard. Causes Barrios to take a step back.
The problem, as I see it for Juarez, is once he hurts Barrios to the body, he forgets about it and tries to score the knockout upstairs. A mistake, I think.
Don't forget the other subplot of this fight. Barrios has had 2 points deducted for low blows.
Juarez could come out with a great left hook because he has that power. He has that power to be able to knock out Barrios. But that's what he's going to have to do to win this fight, because the fight right now is slipping away.
Blood spewing from the mouth of Barrios. Juarez with a right hand. Barrios trying to hold on. Barrios goes down.
I don't know whether the referee's going to call that a slip or not. He's calling that a knockdown.
Blood pouring out of Barrios' mouth. They're going to have the ringside doctor take a look at it.
He's spurting blood.
Oh, the lip is a bloody mess. They have to stop it. They have to stop it because of that cut on the lip. And Rocky Juarez pulls one out of the fire here in Houston.
Barrios' mouth looked literally ripped open.
And you know what causes that? When you're boxing and your mouth is open. Most boxers need to keep their mouth shut when they're boxing, because what they do, they put themselves in danger. Their chin's hanging out, and all it takes is one little shot to knock their chin. They got a broken jaw.
And some of that might have been from the body shots that were gassing Barrios that made his mouth open up.
He was gasping for air, Barrios. What a fight. Barrios changes to boxer, is outboxing Juarez the whole way. Juarez looks old. He's never scored a late round stoppage like this.
The latest of his career.
And he comes through with an improbable knockout win, Rocky Juarez.
Let's take a look at it. Body shots had Barrios reeling. And Juarez measured him with a right hand. That was the knockdown, although it looked like Barrios was partially off balance too, Lennox. But look at the blood spewing out of that lip.
Oh, yeah, no, they had to stop that.
It's hard to look at.
The next round, he would have been drinking his blood.
Another look again. The left-handed. This all started, though, with a left hook to the body. And that right hand sent Barrios down, but it was the blood and the cut from that mangled left side of his lip that forced the ringside doctor to stop this fight. I'll be curious to see what the judges' scorecards look like heading into the 11th round. But Rocky Juarez finally put it together en route to the victory as they stop it in the 11th. And what a battle here in Houston. And again, they work on that lip of Jorge Barrios, who fought a wonderful fight. Boxing beautifully. His punch total, he threw 1,006 punches over 10.5 rounds to Juarez's 476. For the official time of the stoppage, Michael Buffer.
Rafael Ramos calls a halt to the contest. The official time, 2 minutes, 55 seconds, round number 11. The winner from Houston, Texas, now the WBO Latino champion, Ricardo Rocky Juarez.
So Rocky Juarez battles back and stops Jorge Barrios in the 11th round as they attend to that terrible cut on the lip of Barrios. Let's take a look at some final punch numbers. And Lennox Barrios, 1,006 punches thrown to Juarez's 476. Juarez, a better percentage as far as connects, really picked it up over the last couple of rounds. I've just been handed the judges' scorecards as you take a look at the power punches. One judge, Rocky Burke, had it even through 10. One judge has Juarez ahead by 4 through 10. And one judge has Juarez ahead by 2 through 10.
I don't know about that. I think some judges need some eyeglasses.
Max Kellerman is with the victorious Rocky Juarez.
Congratulations, Rocky. Halfway through the fight, you looked like an old 28. How'd you get young again?
Well, first of all, let me thank the Lord for giving me the strength to be victorious today. And I want to thank all the fans here in Houston, Texas, to come out and support. Thank you. Well, I started off early, slow, and we practiced so much in the gym to start off fast because we knew Barrios is a strong fighter, but he's a slow fighter. But he never slows down. That's the thing. He keeps coming. But I knew eventually when I started in the mid-rounds, I started landing some good body shots. And I knew I started to hurt him with body shots. And his punches weren't affecting me in the later rounds as much as they were in the beginning of the fight.
You were aware that you were hurting him to the body because it looked as though you might not have been aware of it.
I'm sorry?
It looked as though you may not have been aware of the fact that those body shots were hurting him. Why did you take so long to start throwing to the body?
Well, Barrios is a dangerous fighter at all times. I knew he's a very wingy puncher, a strong fighter who throws everything. And if he's hurt, he's going to continue to throw back. So we knew we had to be careful. I knew I had to land my body shots accurately. So as the later rounds and the mid rounds, we started landing better body shots. I had to be careful, and I knew I just had to slowly pressure him as the fight went on, and eventually, what happened today was I stopped him.
Were you confused at all by the fact that he elected to box around the perimeter of the ring and not come right after you?
Very much so. I was very surprised. Barrios is not a fighter who comes out and box. He's very strong, but very slow, and at times I felt like I didn't understand why I was getting hit with some of the shots he was throwing. But I think it was the nerves in the beginning of the fight that got to me. I know I'm fighting here in my hometown. I wanted to definitely make a good show for my Houston fans. But I came out, did the job, and did what I was supposed to do, and came out victorious today.
Rocky, you're one of the best fighters of this era to not at least have picked up one of those belts that's floating around out there. Why are you still fighting? For how much longer? And is it the belt that keeps you motivated?
I'm very sorry, man. I told myself when I would win this fight that I would come out and dedicate this fight to my grandfather who passed away about a year ago. But I have a lot of my family here, my son right here, my grandfather who passed away, that I just couldn't lose, in front of my hometown fans, and definitely, dedicating this fight to my grandfather. So I had a lot of will to come out and do good and make a great performance.
Okay, the performance was a great fight. So what's next?
Well, I have 4 defeats in my record. The 4 defeats I fought were against, the 4 defeats I've had were against, the legendary Marco Antonio Barrera, who I thought I beat the first fight. The second fight, he beat me, Marquez and Humberto Soto. I've never been stopped in my career, and I feel that I fought against some of the best fighters out there in this era. So I'm definitely not going to stop until I win my title, which is a goal of mine, and I'm going to pursue that goal until I win it.
Congratulations, Rocky. Tremendous fight.
Thank you, Max.
Bob?
All right, Max, Rocky Juarez, the pride of Houston, pulls one out of the fire as he stops Barrios in the 11th round. All right, Dr. Ruben Garcia had it 2 points for Juarez. Remember now, Barrios had 2 points deducted for low blows, so basically he had the fight even. Rocky Burke had it 94-94 as well. If the 2 points weren't deducted, Barrios would have been ahead on that card, and Ruben Carrion inexplicably had this fight in a 4-point edge for Juarez. If you don't have the 2-point deductions, it's still a 2-point edge for Rocky Juarez. Lennox, first of all, your reaction to the judges' scorecards, remembering, though, that there were 2 points deducted for Barrios.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that the judges' scorecards is what they are, you know what I mean? They're watching the fight, they're judges, they have to score it the way the referee says it, so, but I would have called it an even round, given that round to Juarez.
Yeah, well, you know, there are 9-9 rounds as they unfold, and then you had that first round, which was a big swing round. That kind of tips the scales in a certain direction as well. But that, he went out and he did what he had to do. He finished the guy because in his corner they thought they were behind.
Yes, he did.
All right, we still have a lot more to come as we take a look at the HBO sports calendar